So, first video I've honestly recorded in the last few days. Mainly because you see the title below and I promise it's not clickbait. I promise. This is actually something that happened to me this past Tuesday night. What happened was, for those who saw on the main channel, this past Tuesday's video was my video saying why AJ Styles should not win the WWE title against Jinder Mahal. And right after I finished uploading that video, I went to bed. It was about 2, 3 in the afternoon. Woke up around 4:30, and I just felt like absolute shit. Like, my stomach was acting up, my chest was getting all tight and everything. I remember going to the bathroom and coming back, and I was just slumped over this chair, like, not even facing this way, like, standing from behind it and just leaning forward, because, like, I was just out of it. So my grandmother saw me, and she's like, yeah, something doesn't look right. Call in for work, and also take a shower, see if you feel better afterwards. So I did that, and, like, after I went to the bathroom, I actually came back, like, before I took a shower. I was actually on my knees crawling on the floor, just reaching my phone to try to call because I was feeling like crap. Like, I didn't have that much energy to even walk at that point. So, called work, like, called in like I was supposed to, took a shower, and I literally just sat there under the water, just let the water run on my chest and my back and everything. And while I was laying there, just sitting there on the floor, my legs were constantly shaking. Like, I can't even explain it. It's like, I don't want to describe it like a seizure, because that would be an inappropriate type of, I don't think analogy would be the right word, the best description, like, for a visual presentation. Just, like, constantly shaking, almost like you've got a bit of a sugar rush, like, Ugh. It's like, it's just constantly happening there, even when I was under the water. After I turned off the water, all of a sudden I started vomiting inside the shower. And it got to the point where it pretty much filled the drain. Like, the washable stuff went down, but there were parts that would not flush, so that stuff still stuck around. My grandmother eventually cleaned it up because I was just completely out of it afterwards. Got dressed, and then that was probably like around 5:30 by the time I got out of the shower. Because, like, I was just trying to make myself feel better by getting under the water for a while. For the next 4 to 5 hours afterwards, I could not stop puking. I tried to lay down in bed. I could not get comfortable on my back, my front, or even my sides. Because my stomach was acting up that badly. And shut the fuck up, phone. Because, like, my stomach, my chest were acting up that badly to where I could not even get comfortable. I tried laying in bed, not comfortable. Laid on the floor in our den while my grandparents were watching TV, could not get comfortable. Sitting up on the couch, trying to sleep, could not get comfortable. And once in a while, I would keep getting sick. Boom, puke into our bucket, so, like, nobody thinks that I accidentally let out on the floor or anything like that. So then by 10 o'clock that night, I was just feeling like absolute crap. Like, I knew I got rid of all my lunch. I had not eaten since probably like noon or 1 o'clock that afternoon. So it was like, by around 9:30, 10 o'clock, I was just laying there on the floor in our den, just trying to get comfortable. And after a while, I just sat up, like, with my arms up, and I'm like, let's go see what the doctor says. And my family's like, do you want to go to the emergency room? I'm like, yes, I want to see what the doctor says. So we got up, went to the emergency room, and right here I got the reason I'm not showing the front of the papers is because it lists the hospital that I went to, but it's got the notes of everything that they observed, because, like, we went to the hospital, and right before we even left, I ended up puking again because I was sitting at the side of the kitchen table, and my grandmother said, go to the back bedroom where your clothes are, put a shirt on, and then come back so that I would not be shirtless when going to the hospital. That walk is about 15 to 20 feet away. Got to the hallway, end of the hallway, got my shirt, came back, and I got sick right as I got to the table again. Even moving got me nauseous. So we got to the hospital by no later than 10:30. By that point, like, I was even struggling to stand. Like, they asked me to fill out a form for registration. I had to stand there leaning on the counter because I was having a hard time standing. My family knew it. Like, even when I was sitting, like, before we even left the house, I'm sorry I'm backtracking a bit, but there's other things that keep happening. I remember just standing there bent over the table back at home, like here at home, before we even left. My legs were still shaking like mad while I was just trying to calm myself down standing there on the table. So we got inside the waiting room, and my grandmother suggested when the nurse came, hey, let him go in a wheelchair because it's going to be hard for him to walk because I was out of energy and feeling like crap. So we got in there, I explained everything, like saying I was feeling sick, vomiting a handful of times, heart rate is up really badly, my stomach is acting up, my chest is all tight and everything. So, like, I don't know if you guys can see, like, there's a bit of a red bump right where my finger's at. That's where they had the IV, and right about here, kind of where my other finger is pointed at, was where they had what they call the butterfly needle, which they used to pretty much drain my blood in order for blood samples, and I know they also did it with the original IV, but it was like for a second set. They took my blood, they put that weird cream on my stomach to try to check my bladder, kind of like what they do for women when they go through like that ultrasound or whatever it is for checking their babies, like while they're still pregnant and everything like that. I think you guys know what I mean. Went through the heart test, that EKG or whatever it is. One of the main things they kept wanting was a urine sample, and it took like 3 or 4 hours for me to finally urinate, for them to finally check my urine. So I was like, yeah, fine, because I was laying there in that bed, constantly zoning in and out of consciousness. I remember even my legs were also shaking while they tried to calm me down by having warm blankets on me to try to warm me up, make sure I was not shaking much. It still happened regardless. So it took like 3 or 4 hours for me to finally urinate, thank goodness. I think, like, by that time my grandmother was already here back home because she wanted to get some sleep. Finally, they got everything done. They also waited for me to get my heart rate down, thankfully, because I would not be able to be home with a high heart rate. And because of that, I was diagnosed with 2 different things. One of them was dehydration. In fact, let me see if they got any special notes. Yeah, dehydration in adults. I guess they didn't give the proper amount of how serious the dehydration was, but I remember they put the bags of liquid that they need in order to pump back into you through your IV to get you hydrated. It took like 3 bags to get me properly hydrated in order to function again and also to go pee. And they also diagnosed me with the stomach flu, which I'm still combating with right now. And according to this, it's called viral gastroenteritis. I guess is what its medical terminology is called. So pretty much stomach flu, and I'm still feeling that right now. Like, I had to miss 2 days of work. I went in last night because I don't think they'll allow me to miss 3 days in a row without the whole doctor's note for medical clearance if you miss like 3 days or more for sick days. So came in, and even with my stomach acting up, I still went to work for that 3rd day. And even right now, I can still feel my stomach. If I turn my body a certain way or do certain things, my stomach is going to feel it. Like, very tight as we speak. I try to punch something or laugh or scream or anything like that. Not good feeling down there. So I got diagnosed with dehydration and the stomach flu. They gave me a bit of a, like, my doctor prescribed me this little medication, I can't remember what it was called, for just anything for nausea or vomiting. And she's like, do you want me to prescribe for you? I'm like, yeah, just in case, like, as a precaution. So she filled that out, we got the IV out, got the tape off me, and some of the tape residue was still there. Finally got home about 2:45. I just picked up my blanket and my pillow from the den, brought it back here in my bed, and just passed out. Like, I could finally sleep properly because my stomach wasn't acting up as badly as before. It was like, I guess maybe that all the liquid that was put into me, and of course the nausea-reducing medicine or whatever they were also putting through my IV may have helped as well, because I didn't puke when I was in the hospital, in the ER, thank goodness. But then ever since then, I've been trying to sleep. First day when I got home, like, I literally got to bed and just slept for probably like at least 17 hours. I did not want to get out of bed. I did not want to freaking wake up. I did not want to eat or anything. I just slept. The only time I got up was to go pee. That was literally the only reason I got out of bed during that other sick day at work. But it's like, to think, I don't even get how I even contracted the stomach flu to begin with. It's like, the only way I can think of getting it is either somebody gave it to me from work, because I don't interact with people outside of work. Like, I honestly have no social life. Or maybe something may have been in the chicken if somebody from Burger King was sick. Because that's where I got the chicken from, and I'm still sick right now because I can feel it in my stomach. So one of those 2 things must have caused me to get the stomach flu. I still got the paperwork and everything saying all the information of what they found and everything, the different diagrams and symptoms and everything like that. Yeah, gastroenteritis, yeah, that was, is commonly called a stomach flu, so I guess that's what it really was, viral one, so not fun there. And they're saying, like, for suggestions when it comes to diets and keeping freaking properly hydrated and all that stuff, but yeah, that was quite the fun night, spending 4 hours in the emergency room just trying to get healthy. But let me know what you guys saw in the comment section below. I guess that kind of explains why I haven't been recording videos, but thanks for watching, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, folks.